Hi, my name is Dr. Stephanie Akoumany, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Bloom Wellness Lab. I'm also the host of the Agility and Bloom podcast. You can find us on all platforms, in addition to our previous podcast, the Blooming as a Habit podcast. So today we're here to talk about the amazing possibilities of owning your power, experimenting with self care, and designing a life you love. I am so honored to be able to speak to every audience member that sees this, but also especially to Jack and Jill Foundation. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at your conference. And I hope that all the attendees, there were 151 amazing attendees, and I hope that all of you get a chance to see this. And I think 171 people who registered. So I hope that this helps for anyone who may have missed it. And I just hope that this helps other people too. So please feel free to share widely. At the Agility and Bloom podcast, we are all about thinking about how can we make sure that we take time to thrive? What does it mean to be agile, to move and think more quickly and with more ease? In order to do this, we must pause and reflect on our journey, to reflect on how do we get to where we are today? Who are we and who do we want to be? These are some questions to think about when we're designing a life that we love. I will show you a quick video about who I used to be and still am today. My name is Stephanie Stevenson. I'm currently a junior at the University of Maryland College Park. My family taught me that I should never let my socioeconomic status negatively define who I am, but to embrace my strengths and strive to overcome the challenges that may be placed in front of me. And I'm honored to introduce to you the President of the United States, who I know who helped to improve education for all American children, President Barack Obama.
Thank you, Stephanie. Run her for something.
Well, that was an amazing journey that I'll never forget. It taught me the power of my voice. I already knew the power of my voice, but this really put it to the test because I used to be the shy girl in class. I loved school. I thought it was just amazing. I had the best teachers. Oh God, I loved it. I mean, it was full of exploration, even with 48 kids in my one classroom in Baltimore City, Maryland. I mean, we endured a lot in my school before I transitioned to private school, to Bryn Mawr School for Girls in Baltimore City. And Franklin Square was a beautiful school full of teachers who cared of us, but structurally, we went through a lot. We sometimes the heat would break in the school, and we would be those kids you might have seen on the newspaper with our coats on in class. Or in the summer, the air conditioners would break, and we would literally have to use fans that were pretty much blowing hot air and dust around. But nonetheless, we learned a lot, and we were encouraged to be ourselves. Yet for some reason, I found myself being shy, and I need to explore a little more why that was. Yet, as I got into middle school into Bryn Mawr, which you see me graduating from right here, the bottom left-hand corner, you will find that I started to bloom. I started to recognize that there were a lot of other strong Black women around me. And those alumni that I'm still sisters with today really helped me to see that I could do it. From our fashion show to being the co-vice president of the Black Student Union, the vice president of the Black Student Union, the co-president of the Black Student Union, creating career fairs, working in the fashion show. All of these things made me get outside of my comfort zone. And when I got to college, oh, I was ready. I just wanted to explore the world and be a journalist and just spread my wings and learn what the world had to offer. And I'm so glad that I had that opportunity. Yet, even then, I still found ways to explore and use my voice. Yet, being in a relationship right? Even with the best partner ever, who's now my husband, I still found ways that my voice was being, I know that I was quieting my own voice. And I don't know where I learned that from, right? Where do we learn that from as women? If we look at our journeys, my mother used her voice. Um, there are always ways that we could use it more, but she used it. And so I ask all of us as women, especially, whether we're in relationships or not, well, we're all in relationships with ourselves, with our colleagues, with our family members, with our friends. And I would ask, how can we explore those relationships even more? How can we recognize that we deserve everything that we want and we can compromise as well? It's important for us to recognize that as we go for our journeys, we will be tested to see, do you really think you own your power? Do you really recognize that you're a creator? And when I spoke at the White House, it made me realize that I had the opportunity to become become the speaker I wanted to be and to share my story with the world. And I was so grateful. There were hundreds of cameras behind the podium, and I had a choice to sink or swim. And even though my voice shook, I made it through. And I got to meet Michelle Obama after this. And well, that was a whole other story. I definitely cried then. But I was able to speak again, and they inspire me every day to just be audacious and follow your dreams and to keep going high. Today, we'll be talking about the fact that leaders are built. They're not necessarily just born, but I would actually put that we are born that way. We are born with a sense of freedom, yet sometimes society pushes it down. Sometimes, as parents, we are fearful of how free our children will be, even though we want them to be free. And I wonder how we can explore the boundaries of really unlearning things that we wouldn't even want done to us so that we can really thrive. I want us to experience, what does it mean to experiment with our lives, experiment with self care, because here we can experiment and say, how could I make more time for myself? How can I make more time to go to yoga, to meditate, to drink water, to ask for help when my partner isn't as busy, right? Or is busy and we're both busy, and how can we make time? And if you don't have a partner, are there any community supports that you have that could help you thrive? So I wonder, how can we heal? How can we learn? How can we grow? And how can we level up? Play, connect, evolve, and bloom. Agile leaders. Agile leaders is all about thriving. How that we create and cultivate a community of like-minded leaders who are here to serve the world, but our kids, our family members, ourselves. We will be exploring these topics and so many more in a deep dive where we explore as a group for 4 months from winter to spring to see how we bloom, how we transform, how we evolve, and really looking deep within to heal our inner childs, heal our current selves and our future selves. Because here's the thing, when we're 70, what do we want to say we did? What do we want to say that we left behind as a legacy, and not just our kids? What's the greatest legacy other than our children, than showing our children how we fulfilled our dreams? In Agile Leaders, we will talk about the mind, body, and energy connection and how we can make our dreams a reality. But this all roots in confidence and learning how to level up our self esteem. So I ask you, what software are you running on? Your mindset is the software that you're running. You must update it and embrace it quickly and with ease. But don't forget to not rush your process because you are blooming. You are blooming, and you must recognize that you cannot pry open a flower. It does not work that way. My daughter, when she was 2, she literally saw a flower bloom in our bush outside of our home. It was the first bud. She looked at me and she knew what it was because she's seen flowers. And she said, Mommy, a bud. And she literally tried to pry her small fingers, which would have perfectly pried it open if she tried. But I said, oh, Zoe, please don't do that. It needs time. It needs time. Here, we're not just the flower, but we are active, conscious beings, sentient beings that get a chance to expand ourselves bit by bit by bit. But I ask you to figure out and tap in and tune in and get still and see how you can pry yourself open, yet let yourself naturally unfold at the same time. Our podcast, Agility and Bloom, is all about this. It's about recognizing that we can be agile. We can move and think more quickly and with more ease. We can march towards our dreams, but we can flow and we can dance and we can glide as well. We can pivot, we can turn around and we can pause and go into Savasana and lay down and rest. I am a yogi. I am a marathoner. I'm a mom. I am a daughter. I'm a doula. I am a life giver. I am a life bringer. What are you? You are many things that you may not have even given a title, but you're here and you signed up to listen to a talk on a Saturday at 9 a.m. because you wanted to own your power. I'm asking you to step to the plate. Join me, ladies. Let's go. So here are some tools for how to like literally organize your thought process because it all starts with a thought. Every great invention, every great innovation, every great agenda, every great household plan, every adventure started with an idea and an emotion that went after it. So just like an agile software development, we can share our gifts with the world more effectively when we consciously reflect on this model. So we have adopted this agile software development model at Agility and Bloom and the Bloom Wellness Lab because my family is full of engineers and software engineers and a future astronaut. And I love how STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math have influenced our everyday lives. And it's so important to recognize how we can solve big world problems, but also everyday problems in our own lives. So here we ask, what do we need to do to thrive? I'm adding my own stuff on there. It's true. Because if whether it's a project you're trying to fulfill, you need to thrive while doing it. You can flow. You don't need to get on the struggle bus all day. It's not just about suffering, it's about fun and joy and flexibility and rigor and excellence, which you have already. You are brilliant, otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Own that brilliance. Number two, what are we designing anyway? Right? Yeah, we want to have a good life. We want to live a good life. Want our kids to be leaders. What does that even look like? You are the architect. You are the engineer. You are the artist. You are the scientist. What does it look like? What is in progress? What have you done already that is succeeding massively? How can you really own that? You have to write this stuff down. Pull out your phone, get your notes app, get your journal. Please take a screenshot of this and write it down. What is ready to deploy? What can we like literally say, okay, I actually put this, and this in place. Let me try this out. Let me go to that yoga class. Let me go to that meditation class. Let me create this project. Now, what thoughts, feelings, and actions can we approve? You get to own this with your own authenticity. If you don't think that you are deserving or you're worthy or you can make time, you won't approve your own authenticity. Then who are you? Say this with love, but your kids are watching. But guess what? Most importantly, you're watching. The worst thing we can do is to betray our intuition, to betray what we know in our hearts, in our spirits, in our bodies, and in our minds. When we want to do something, we feel expansive and flowing. When we don't, we feel constricted and in pain, mental, physical pain, leading to disease, leading to overeating, leading to worry, leading to stagnation, leading to death. I'm sorry to be so serious with you ladies, but this is where it's going. It's going to feeling empty inside, feeling anxious, depressed. Stress lives in the body when the mind doesn't feel clear. So we must ask ourselves, what have we actually accomplished? And the answer is a lot. We sustain life. Whether you're a mother who gave life physically or sustain it, we all sustain it. And the last one, what lessons have we learned? You've learned a lot. Now we need to take time to thrive and actually answer those questions for ourselves. How are you managing stress? Because I don't know, we're all managing it differently. Sometimes it's cookies. I remember when I was doing my dissertation and I was a mom and a PhD student, and I didn't even realize it, but I was literally like taking a whole box of cookies and just gorging them because I was literally trying to use the sugar to stay awake. Crackers, eating them to stay awake. And I realized, oh my gosh, like this has to stop. And then so I cut the cookies and the chips out and the crackers out and the pretzels out. But then I would eat oatmeal too much. And then before I knew it, I would make French toast too much with wheat bread. I said, oh, it's fiber in there. It was overeating it. And although I was working out, I still felt this impulse to just eat so that I would really regulate my nervous system. This is when I did not know about meditation or about yoga or dance and running and how it can make my nervous system feel more balanced, more homeostasis. And, it's really important for us to do. I think that it's important that we recognize the connection between the mind, the body, the emotions, and the behavior, and recognize that it is so important for us to thrive because we don't want to end up with the diseases that our family members have ended up with. We're seeing it now. I don't know about you, but I created my company because I recognized that my family was having challenges around food and decision making and wealth creation and sustainability of happiness. Because wealth isn't just money. Wealth is connection. Wealth is responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. But what will you do? What will you do when no one has shown you the part of life that you're at right now? No one's provided a map, a guidebook. You are the one traversing new waters. What will you do? Well, I'm telling you, there's another way, and it starts in the mind. I am a mindset surgeon, and I had to do surgery on myself to really heal. So now it comes with ease, quickness, and ease to help other people to do so. And I find it to be my calling. Yet, if I didn't go through what I went through, then I wouldn't be able to help someone else. So I'm grateful for those struggles because today I'm talking to a beautiful 151 amazing women, right? And that's powerful. I'll do it over again so I can share with 150 million, right? So eliminating negative self talk and stress. Here, please listen to every single word. If you get nothing from what I say, please listen to this. Watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. And watch your character because they become your destiny. So, therefore, if we go from the top to the bottom, we realize that our thoughts lead to our destiny. You now have a choice to be the creator of your destiny, to be in alignment with the universe intentionally. We have a blog called Intentionally Aligned, which talks about this if you want to delve deeper, to understand how we can really, as my great and amazing friend and co-writer Haley Basuni wrote, to qualify ourselves. And as I write, that we can talk about yoga and it's more than just the movement, it's the union of the mind and the body. It's the meditation, the stillness, the familiarity with the mind. Familiarity, the air, the life, the breath that flows within us, that gives us life. Without it, we have none. Become familiar with your thoughts, with your breath, with your body, with the pain that comes every time you say a word that goes against what you feel, that says, I don't matter as much as this. How can you make more space for yourself, sis? How can you reclaim your identity, your life? as a mom, as a businesswoman, as a CEO, as a homemaker, as a provider, as a caretaker, as a creator of worlds. Remember, your thoughts lead to your destiny. Mind, body, energy connection, energy, 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 energy budget. What is your energy budget? Did you make a budget for Target when you went in last time? Did you make a budget when you went on Amazon when you were looking for Christmas gifts? Well, you must do it with energy budget too, because we give our energy in so many places that sometimes we don't even want to. But we must, because if we don't, we're siphoning off our energy, just giving it freely. Text messages of a friend. Whoa, that doesn't work. That friend is not taking your advice, and you keep telling them the same thing over and over and over and over again, and they don't listen. Why are we still talking to them? Your kids do something when they're in imagination land and it feels frustrating, but instead of playing, we yell, we scream, and then we feel upset. But hey, sis, don't judge yourself. Please, I've been there. I never forget the day that at nighttime I realized I was yelling. When the day I was mindful and I felt like, oh no, what did I just do? But my daughter told me, Mom, I think it's because you're sleepy. And I said, baby, you are so right, but I'm going to check myself like I do on a daily. Practice what I preach, and it's been such a joyful ride. When tantrums occur or imagination land goes too far, I guide and I smile and I gamify. And I think, I'll just wait this out a little. I'll guide. I'll do what I have to do. I'll keep my laptop near me. I'll keep my journal near me and I'll go. Because it's important for us to remember that our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs, these attitudes can positively or negatively influence our biological functioning. So, in other words, our minds can affect how healthy our bodies are. This is so important to remember because that means that you need to watch your mind, body, and energy connection. The stories we tell ourselves, they shape our mood. Our mood is something to think about because if we think about it, it's how we're showing up in the world. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this idea of a mood being an emotional reaction that's lasting in a moment. But let's think about that and how we carry our energy throughout the day. So if we're coming up and showing up with the same energy wherever we go, now we have a temperament, an identity, an emotional signature that people know us, they know us for. What do you want that to be? But more importantly, not for others, but for yourself. What do you want that emotional signature to be? And the last, a personality. Well, when we keep holding on to this emotional signature, a way we show up with our energy in the world, then we become known as something. You get to shape that, but not for others. Yes, that's important, but for yourself. Because remember, you get to cultivate this personality like a gardener. Remember that your thoughts, they influence your feelings. Your feelings influence your behaviors. But even more, we forget that on a biological level, as we talked about right here, that this literally influences our biological functioning. The moment you start introducing shame to your body, cortisol floods it. You create a pharmacy in the wrong direction, one that does not promote your dreams. Now, stress is allowing you to not, stress is stopping you from being creative. You want to thrive, but you can't. But now, if you flip a switch, you can. We have to think about what do we want to create in the world? How can we use tools that help us to break through this challenging moment? The understanding that the mind, body, and energy connection can be healed. Breath work is one way. Here's one exercise that you can use to think about this. We call this a roller coaster. So you place your index finger at the palm of your other hand. You can guide it up to the tip of each finger and inhale and then exhale as you go down. So inhaling up, we're going to go through every finger or all 5 fingers. So inhale with me up to the top. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, usually if I'm with kids, I'm like, we go up, 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 and there we go. Da, 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 up, up, up. You can play around with this with your kids, and it becomes a fun activity where you're exploring that mind, body, breathwork connection, because our breath is all that we have. It's the thing that sustains our life. In yoga, we talk about this as the life force energy. And it's important because if you think about it, your breath, it regulates your nervous system. It helps you to calm down and to feel at one with yourself and with your environment and the universe. And that's where we want to be, where we can actually be in a mode of vibration, of creation. We can be in alignment with our thoughts and our feelings and have clarity, right? And it's so important. There's a song on our podcast called Momentum, and it's so great. It's Please listen to it because it just goes so beautifully. And it talks about actions always match my words. I am no pretender. I create my own style. I am an inventor. I am unforgettable. You will be remembered. Got the ball rolling now, right? So if you think about this, do your actions match your word? Do you feel like you have clarity in your life? Do you feel like you're flowing, that you're an inventor? Well, I tell you, breath work does it. There's one more that I'll tell you. It's called 478. And 478 is magical because it heals headaches, it heals you, it heals your spirit, and it reminds you that when all seems to be breaking, you can tap into the breath, the thing that gives you life. And you are not here by mistake, man. You are not here by mistake. You're here to create, right? You created those beautiful children of yours. Or, like I said, you sustain their life. You give them energy. You are a home to people. You are a home to your spirit. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And you could say you're an energetic being having a human experience, no matter where you align yourself spiritually or religiously. We are energy. The law of thermodynamics, it says that energy is not created or destroyed, it is transformed. Last year, my dad passed away, and it was one of the hardest moments of my life. But it was one where I had to literally leave my home for 3 months to take care of him in home hospice. And I recognized that that was a moment where I knew what to do. There was no other way than me just going there to help him. And during this process, I recognized again that as I brought life into the world with my daughter, I was helping him to exit and to transition. Yet I realized it was a beautiful experience to own my power, even within the moment of fear. I became a doula, but one that was there to help people transition back to wherever we came, a death doula of sorts, a life and death doula. And I realized that the way I helped him to usher his spirit back to wherever, into the universe and the cosmos, to heaven, whatever we want to say, I think all of them are relevant, that I had to now re-usher my own spirit back into the world in the way that I wanted as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a podcast host, as a off soon to I'm going to claim it as a soon to be, well, I am an author. I created a dissertation. Look at that. As a professor, as a marathoner, a yogi, I had to own these seats of awareness because that's all asanas are. They're seats of awareness, and ones where we become more familiar with ourselves through investigating who we are, through self inquiry. I ask you to get off of your emotional roller coaster and recognize that you, in fact, are the conductor of that train, that you can slow it down for the breath. Let's do 478. Close your eyes, roll your neck from side to side, and relax. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. Raise your arms to the sky. Bend back if it's comfortable. Just a little chair yoga for you, and release and go down into prayer pose and relax. Close your eyes. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, Hold for 7 seconds and release for 8. Let's go. I'll count while you breathe in. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Hold that breath for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would encourage you to pause the video and do it again when you can. This has helped my mom and my sister, my sister, she's like a sister, my daughter heal, help me heal. One more idea is to imagine you have a pain point in your body. Breathe in and imagine the flow of air going to the part of the body that hurts. Like literally, as crazy as it might sound, imagine that flow and rush of air going to the part that hurts. This is a healing practice that with enough time and concentration works. I feel myself enough times to know. Training for a marathon, twisted my ankle in the trail when I had a 7-mile run. I was already 2 miles away from home. There was no turning back. I was in the thick of the trail, and there was no car that was going to pick me up. I did this. I did the mindset surgery, sent the positive energy to my ankle and told it, you better heal. I've come too far. No one else can save me out on this trail but me. And I don't know how, what I do now, but I ran the other 5 miles and got back home. When I got home, I iced it, but I was fine. And it was the most miraculous experience. But I've done this not just that time, but over and over again. When you stub your toe and it hurts, start looking at something else in the room to distract your mind. This is something I got else from Dr. Joe Dispenza. You see a black table, red chair, blue sky, wind, yellow sun. And before you know it, you've put your attention on something else, that the pain subsides gradually, gradually, gradually. And now you're in a different emotional state, a different vibration. You have the power to raise your vibration. Michelle Obama says, when they go low, we go high. When they go low, we go high. And it is so real because you must raise your vibration to own your power. You must raise your vibration to assume the identity, to become the person that you know you can be. You must say, I am a runner before you think you even can, but you have the inclination to. You must say, I am a yogi before you attend your first class, but you've seen the ad and you want to. You must say, I am a manifester when you know that you have manifested great things in your life and in the lives of others. You must believe it. I am so excited to offer the coaching to anyone who receives this because we are going to work so well together. But I digress. Please take a screenshot of this self-care strategy, scientifically backed self-care strategies. Walking in the park, right? Taking in that breath, that natural air. Nature therapy has been shown to increase our serotonin levels. It sets off a sense of calm so we can feel relaxed and in one with nature. And let's not forget, we are nature. We are one of the highest forms of consciousness in nature, but we are nature. So we fear it, yet I would encourage you to get outside more. Look at the sun, the moon, the stars, and recognize that you are a small speck of the universe, yet you are such an important part of it as well. And those two ideas can go hand in hand. Dance, move, listen to your favorite music, make a playlist before you work out. Keep your water bottle, get one of those nice, pretty ones from wherever you like to buy them, and fill it up frequently. And see, you must fill your cup before you fill anybody else's, because if you're thirsty, what are you going to do? Right? If all the cups are empty, how can we pour in? Right? That's stagnation. That's not flow. That's not currency. You think about electricity and power. You think about water and flow and the power of the current. Well, our energy is flowing that way, right? Energy is the capacity to do work. Please listen to our 4th episode on agility and bloom, because this episode is so powerful. My daughter is speaking about her experiences with mindfulness and, being a person that world schools, meaning homeschooling, but seeing the world as our school. And she talks about it so eloquently. And even if she wasn't my daughter, I would say it. But Please do not underestimate your kids' ability to tap into these self care practices. The more you expose yourself to them, the more that you will show them the way and they'll start doing it by default. And when it gets tough, when they're resisting it the most, that's when you have to hold on the deepest. A lot of you have teens, and when they start acting up, when they start saying, I don't want you here, get out of my face, that's when you need to let them know that you love them even more. That's when you need to lower down the yelling and say, I'll give you time. I'll be here for you when you're ready. And they might roll their eyes, but I tell you, I led a mentoring program for 3 years in DC and 3 more years in Baltimore with middle schoolers and high schoolers. And it doesn't matter, out of all the hundreds of adolescents that I've worked with over the past the past 10 years. Wow, that's amazing. It is important to remember that we all want to be seen and heard. That's how we own our power, by recognizing that as long as I see me, that's what matters. But as an adolescent, we are looking for the love and guidance of our parents. Don't give up. Know that they want you, just like when they say that what you are seeking is seeking you. You two have been matched together to teach each other lessons. Just sit with each other, hold space to talk, be open-minded to hear what they have to say. If you show that you don't want to hear it, sometimes we say, I don't want to hear that. You can't do that. If you do that, you're blocking your blessings. And your blessings, they manifest in the form of an open ear, an open mind, and an open heart. So when you lead with curiosity, then you recognize that, oh, I used to be a teenager too. And what if I remove fear from this conversation and it really hurt my child? Now I can provide a space where I can hear them, whether they're 2, 3, 4, 5, or 15. Because when they're at the party in college, they'll have a choice. Do I call my mom and dad or whoever my guardian is? Or am I going to call on the unreliable friend that I just met? Because if they don't feel they can trust you to not judge them when they make a mistake, they're never going to reach out to you in the way you really need them to and want them to. Offer yourself grace if you've already made these challenging missteps, because we all do. I've done it. And I realized she felt judged. And I don't want her to feel that way. I don't want anybody to judge me. We're almost done here. How to enter a flow state. This is how you put it all together. Number one, what do you want? Choose and organize accordingly. Number two, plan to manage your time and energy. Number three, declutter your mind. That happens through meditation, through stillness, through music, through running, through walking, anything that works for you. Powerlifting, hiking, rock climbing, anything. Number four, engage and monitor. Engage actively. And it says to hold some attention and commitment and persevere and balance expectation. This is important because we're engaging with our desires and we're monitoring our thoughts. Engaging with our desires and monitoring our thoughts. Engaging with our fears and monitoring our thoughts, because, hey, fear is nothing but false expectations appearing real. False expectations appearing real. And if we recognize that, we get to turn that on its head and say, get out of here. I'll see you later. I, I don't have time for that, right? We have to be aware of the thoughts that come in and try to stop us. But like Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep it moving. I said to keep it moving, but just keep on moving is what he said. And it's important that we recognize this, because when we do these four things, and please take a screenshot, study, take notes. Look, when we do these four things, this allows us to find a conscious flow, and it won't be happenstance that you got this essence of inspiration. You can tap into that all the time. Sometimes you need amped up music like chill hop. Sometimes you need EDM. Sometimes you need a positive Baltimore club mix. Just joking. Um, I'm from Baltimore, so I had to do it. But it's important, because when I say positive, it's important. If you Google or you go on YouTube or Spotify, Google positive upbeat instrumentals or positive hip hop songs or positive whatever the thing is, because so much of hip hop or trap beats. They are energizing, yet the words, they're so degrading that we are having this misalignment of energy. Whereas if the words are fulfilling and inspiring and empowering, and that beat, well, wow, you get to raise your vibration and go to the next level, which is what our manifest and move classes will do. You should definitely join them. We're going to be literally having virtual sessions every morning at 6:30 all the way until 7:15, where we get to see the sun rise and do meditation, visualization, journaling, yoga, and running. We're going to fit it all in because we don't have a lot of time, but we can make the most of it. What if we did that every morning? If you want to join Manifest and Move, check out our website and sign up. But if we do this, we can enter a flow state more often and we can learn to cultivate this. If you join the Agile Leaders program, you will learn how to do that as well. Ask yourself, if I press and flow through my dream, what could go right? And so what could go wrong, right? So often we're talking about what could go wrong, and we just need to realize that if we align ourselves with our dream and say, you know what, this is going to happen, and then be detached, right? Being outcome detached. We push the ball. Deepak Chopra talks about pushing the ball forward. If you're golfing, like putting the ball in the direction of the hole, and that's your dream. Yet it might not perfectly go in, but it will get close to it if it doesn't go in. But you have to be outcome detached and know you did your best to get it in the right direction. And that, my dear, is good enough. What would happen if it goes right? Imagination is essential for change. So the next time you see your kid going to La La Land, as long as they're not going to hurt themselves, don't get in the way. Don't get in their way. Don't get in their way. And guess what? Don't get in your own way when you're imagining possibilities. Hold those childlike thoughts for a moment and recognize that the inner child needs to be fed. Where creativity lies is where the bag resides, that where security resides, that where risk resides, and strategic risk. We're not talking about being reckless here. We're talking about risking, putting everything on the line because our ancestors had to do so. So who are we not when we have almost everything in comparison to them? We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Who are we to not put something on the line? And once I realized that, I said, I can't play small. Mm-mm. I'm done with that. Let's go. This is our final video about what Bloom Wellness Lab is all about today. It shows my roots, where I grew up. Hi, my name is Dr. Stephanie Akoumany, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Bloom Wellness Lab. Here, life is a lab where you learn, grow, and play. You figure out who you want to be. Who are you? Not just your name, not just your profession, but who are you and who do you want to be? Here, we're ready to match you with the best coaches from around the world to figure out how to follow your passion, understand who you are inside, to meditate, practice some yoga, to dance, to figure out what your profession should be, what your business should be, and just how you live the best life. Here, we're going to make blooming a habit. Follow us on Instagram, on our website, on Facebook, and figure out who you are and what you want to do with your life to make blooming a habit. Welcome to the lab. Yes, welcome to the lab, ladies. We are here to recognize our power and to own the fact that we are agile leaders who are literally cultivating the lives of young African American and BIPOC people of color, glorious, anybody of every race, of every background. We're just cultivating glorious humans who know freedom and know their power while we're learning ours too. Remember, as we go into a new year, before you go into a new year, let's together, if you join this program, we literally start on Thursday. But if you can't join Thursday, that's okay. We can join, you can join the week after, you can join in January, send me email. Let's be flexible with one another. There are scholarships available, ladies. If you cannot afford the full investment, that's okay. Please email me if this strikes your interest because I am flexible and I am cultivating an equitable entrepreneurship style where I make sure that I can help my clients where they are. I want to pour into you as I poured into myself. I want to show you that it's not about running a marathon, even though running those 26.2 miles literally changed my life. They showed me that there are no limits. There are no limits. You can do almost anything, and not almost, you can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to get extremely creative and get out of your way. When I did that back bend in that video, I would have never thought I would have been able to do it. My whole physiology changed with belief, the power of belief, the power of action and consistency. And what Agile Leaders does is show you that you can change your mind, your body, your spirit, your energy, and your confidence and become the trail, even more of the brilliant trailblazer that you already are. I am ready. I hope you are too. We have in this program, we have community and mindset movement coaching sessions where we're literally going on our manifest and move trail runs, where we are, and you don't have to be in the area, it's virtual. You could be anywhere, have your phone and log on to Zoom and hop on and run and manifest your dreams. And we also have group coaching sessions where we're going to do deep dives of topics just like this every week, holding you accountable for whatever projects you're working on. We also have an online community where people are like-minded and working together. Private coaching where we meet once a month, one-on-one, to talk about whatever it is that you need to work through in your mind. You have access to resources that I create that are for this community specifically. I work with CEOs, I work with principals, I work with nonprofit directors, with students, with teens, with babies. And whether you're 8 months old or 80, we all need to be seen, loved, and heard. And that is my calling, that is my gift. And I am ready through the podcast, Agility in Bloom, through my website, through the blog, Intentionally Aligned, through our programming, our coaching programming. We and we have guest coaches that come in too and talk to us. I'm just feeling so tapped in. As of today, we have had 21 you've had listeners in 21 countries and 81 cities for the Agility and Bloom podcast. And that feels like a blessing because that feels like that's my grandmother's voice and prayers all over the world. Everything she poured into me. That's my mom's voice and prayers, my dad's, my aunts, then my uncles, my cousins, my daughter, my husband. That's them all over the world. And I hope to make even more of a base on the East Coast with you all and the United States of America. In my speech with President Barack Obama in 2009, I knew that I would make impact on the world. And I say this not in any arrogant way, but in a confident way, knowing that I should give back in the way that so many poured into me. This is a beautiful moment. It felt so good to see 151 people log on to the Jack and Jill conference on Saturday. And I'm so glad that we get to share in this way because you get to have the full experience. And so many other people do too. Please, 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 if this resonated with you in any way, please share our work. Please go on to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you use, and follow our podcast. Please rate it. Please leave a review. Please share it with whoever you think can benefit. Please recognize your own genius if you don't do all those things, because that's the goal. How can you tap into social emotional learning, diversity, equity, inclusion? STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math to use and look at the arts widely, not just art like painting, but like creating music, like engineering and music production and how that influences our mental health, or like literally how we can design healthier garden systems, how we can create more equitable school systems, how language matters, language art. Like this is big, you guys. How can we redesign our lives? That's what I'm all about. And I have a little astronaut, as you see here, and you can hear her episode and share it with your kids. Episode 4, just how can we design a life that we love? Please find me on YouTube. We have meditations up there that can help you. They're motivational meditations, just like this. They're so, I would say that even if I didn't create it, they're very empowering and they are going to set you off in the right direction. We are here to make change. Bloom Wellness Lab is a media, educational, and optimal performance company, and we will go in every direction we are called. I can't wait to make an amazing change, and it all starts with people like you sharing our work and also sharing it with your kids. They need to hear this now. I've done talks at so many schools around the country. Um, I've given talks internationally in Scotland, worked in Trinidad and Tobago for study abroad. I've seen the world, and I am just grateful to be a human being here to use the gifts that I've been given in a positive way. So I ask you, how will you use yours? Who are you, and who do you want to be? How will you own your power? How will you design a life that you love? Have a good